Yo, that apple yesterday did me no good. I thought it was gonna help my drunkenness, but I don't know if it was the mix or whatever. But I was fucking.
Matter of fact, let's talk about that mix. Did you see them? Did you
Yes.
see them doing that?
Yes.
All right. Well, so for our podcast listeners,
Welcome. First and all, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna put this later.
Okay.
So just like maybe some random shit at the end.
All right.
But yeah. So we went to a party last night. We're not gonna name any names, but let's just say that some young Greeks, or I don't know, some people at Emory made a comeback and they had a party to celebrate that. We'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about guys, trying to get girls drunk and do whatever. And I absolutely in no way, shape, or form condone date rape at all. But there's a lot of talk about guys doing that. I'm just saying. I just want to say that at the party that we were at yesterday, I think there was a clear goal of getting the party goers fucked up.
Yes,
right?
Particularly the male segment of those party goers.
Right. Herschel, what'd you see, man?
They say it don't be like that, but it do.
Bro, I saw some people walk in with some bottles. I saw one of the hosts of the party take those bottles and immediately upend both a light and a dark bottle into a jug to make some concoction. It was bubbling and foaming and shit. I have no idea what was truly in there. I know I woke up with a headache this morning, but that shit was strong as fuck. It was some Bacardi in there. I think it was a big ass bottle of Jack. It might have been some Crown too. This is all in one mix with. I mean, there was juice. Like it was some colorful punch or whatever. Was it pineapple juice? I couldn't even taste the flavor of the fucking juice because of how strong it was. But there was definitely a specific goal in mind while making that juice. And I don't want to shade people for wanting to celebrate. That's what's up. But I think there was a little bit more going on. I'll say that.
Turn up!
I mean, I would absolutely agree. Look, if you're making a hunch punch, like you gotta have some sort of guideline. You can't just throw whatever in there. You can't throw dark plus white plus dark with flavoring in it plus white with flavoring in it, and then a little bit of juice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how you get the party started.
It's not the best way to get fucked up. I mean, you will get fucked up. But let me ask you this. Are we just washed? Like, because I feel like when I was young, like, we could just hold it down and maybe we would just go ham and then throw up and just be like, all right, well, I'm good. Like, okay, that was a bad night. That was a bad decision, but I'm young and still can bounce back. Now.
Herschel, man. All right. On some real shit, we both threw parties at Emory. And, just to give you guys a little background, Herschel is an alpha, and at Emory University, he was an alpha. And for about, 3 years, you were like one of the top alphas. So he threw parties in, my junior year, I lived at the BSA house, and throughout my whole college career, we were throwing parties. Herschel, at any party where you made a concoction, were you just throwing stuff in there, or did you have a plan?
There was always a plan.
Thank you.
There was always a plan to make the drink delicious and get you fucked up. This drink last night, they were just trying to get you fucked up. That was the only goal. It was like, yo, we got this liquor. We need to drink it tonight. Let's
Exactly.
Now, do you think they were successful in their endeavors last night? And again, not condoning any, shenanigans or anything like that. But, do you think people got fucked up?
I mean, we're going to have to get the update about that later. But if people kept drinking that punch or whatever they want to call it, then absolutely people got fucked up. Which brings me to an interesting topic that I just thought of. Herschel, maybe you could share with the listeners one of your best concoctions at Emory. That it doesn't have to be 8 juice. That's what it's called, right?
We have several of them.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't have to be any of the alpha mixtures unless you want to share it. But
yeah.
Something that you made that was good, strong, and got the party real lit.
So there was one, and I'm not going to give the full recipe, but it's called antifreeze, right? There's like 2 types of liquor involved. There's honey involved, so it's super sweet. You never actually taste any liquor. And you can make it relatively quickly. It's a relatively simple recipe. I'm not going to give it out over the airways because, national secrets and shit like that. You know, they'll come get me for some stuff like that. But if ever you've kicked it with us and had some antifreeze, you know what time it is. It's been a good time damn near every single time. Fuck, I actually need to probably text to make sure I remember the correct recipe. I might have to make that the next time we have a little cookout or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
indeed, man.
It was a very simple recipe, like 3 parts this, 2 parts that, 1 part this, 4 parts alcohol. Like that. It was a quick recipe like that. But there was another one that I remember making in the Alpha House that had a full handle of Bacardi 151, a ton of pineapple juice with the sliced pineapples inside. We actually made it, let it sit overnight in the fridge in this big ass container. So like, of course, you have the pineapples soaking up the alcohol, and you know people can eat that like it's a little shot or whatever, which is always delicious. We had some sugar added in there, some additional like sodas like ginger ale and shit to kind of carbonize it and shit. But you have to kind of plan. You can't just come out here and be like, oh, I'm gonna mix all these liquors and hope for the best, and add a little bit of juice and hope for the best. There's got to be something of a recipe, or at least a taste test as you're going along.
Right.
Or you're just going to end up with some nasty shit on the counter that nobody's really trying to drink.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you definitely have to have a little bit of method to the madness when you're making concoctions. And you know, I have to say, me, when I was coming up in college, you know, making drinks, trying to get the parties lit. Some of the things that I used to go to often had Everclear in it. And I would like to pride myself in having developed different recipes with Everclear, aka Golden Grain, aka is it 97.5%?
AKA rubbing alcohol, goddamn.
Right. But
it's something high. I'm not sure what it is.
Exactly. It's close to 100%. Alcohol by volume, and I pride myself in developing recipes that eliminated the horrible taste of Everclear.
Yes.
Or at least masked it with a whole lot of sugar.
Everclear allowed you to do a lot with a little. Like you had only a little bit left in the Everclear bottle, you'll make you a punch, it'll last a whole party, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken a shot of Everclear straight?
One time it was the most drunk I ever got.
Did you throw up? Did you?
Yeah.
Bruh.
I did, actually. Matter of fact,
tell us about that experience, bruh.
Yeah, it was the Alpha Party freshman year. Bears You Dare.
We did not condone such things. He on his own decided to take this Everclear shot. I will say
it was before the party, but I'm just saying I was getting ready for the Alpha Party.
Okay.
So anyway, so I took a shot. It was a first shot. I was just with some of my boys, and we're just like, let's take a shot of Everclear. I never took it before. It was my first and last. But then we were like low on alcohol. All we had was Everclear. And I just want to know if maybe past Tunde can come into the future and tell me why he was so obsessed with Everclear. Anyway, so I took the shot and I was actually okay, but I started drinking more, but I was drinking Everclear. I was drinking an Everclear mix. Oh, this is what me and Ehi used to do. We would get like a packet of lemonade, like the lemonade packet that you just put in a pitcher and put water in. Mm-hmm. We would put that in a cup and then put Everclear in it and then mix it and then taste it. And then if it was like too strong, we put a little water. But that was it.
Wow. So now you do recognize, like when you say it out loud, you see the flaw in the logic, right?
Bro. But that's what we did and that's what got us lit. So that's what I had moving forward in the night. And then pretty much, you know, went to the Bears You Dare. Had a good time. Didn't throw up. Excellent. But stumbled home.
Yes.
Good thing I was living on campus, and then got in bed and just threw up like on the side of my wall. And
damn.
Down like my bed, and you know I was moving out, so I didn't actually clean it up.
Whoa, bruh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like the last weekend of class and stuff, right?
Yep. So.
Damn.
So I just left it there, and yeah.
Did they find you?
Nah, they didn't actually.
Yo. Way to get over on Emory one time. Oh my God, bro.
You know, we're going to have to record another pod about getting over on Emory.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That just goes to show that we have focus.
But bruh, so I took one shot. Freshman year, I also took a shot of Everclear one time. And it similarly did not go well. So this was also freshman year. Shout to Fred and Oren that were like really, you know, kind of coaching me up in the game on throwing parties. So freshman year, I didn't have like a location that was really accessible to parties. We were on campus. We had a small ass dorm room. It was like little as fuck. I had a weird roommate. It just wasn't going to be the move. So Fred and Orrin had this other spot, it was still technically on campus housing, but they were in just a much better place. They had a corner apartment, concrete walls and shit, so you could get loud if you needed to. So I'm there a little early, setting up for the party and everything, and they're like, yo, trying to take a shot? You trying to turn up, bro? And me, being naive, was like, yeah. Having heard horror stories before about Everclear and having had mixed drinks and knowing how strong Everclear was, I was like, okay, this is going to be a challenge, but let me just hold it down one time. So I take that bitch, right? I immediately had to yak right over the fucking balcony. Like, I don't believe I made it out the door and shit, but I had to, like, let that shit go. And even still, it got enough into my system that I was fucking faded that night. Like, I had, like, maybe 1 or 2 more drinks on top of that, but, like, that taste was fucking awful. Like, all of the contents of my stomach was like, yeah, nah, it's not about to happen.
Turn up.
Honestly, I haven't even seen Everclear on the shelves since those college days. I guess I go to some of the better aisles now. I just avoid that shit. Fuck vodka in general now.
Right,
but,
right, exactly.
It's
because you ain't looking for it, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good times, though.
Maybe they were good, but talking about these parties, man, I'm looking outside and the weather's looking good, and we're in April, it's spring, summer's coming up, and it's time to grill. So
yes.
Speaking of some of our concoctions that we've made, maybe we can share with the listeners some of our grill recipes or techniques. Like me, if you ever came out and ate some of my food, first of all, you would have said that it was incredibly delicious. But secondly, I make chicken often. I feel like people don't make chicken as much,
on the grill?
Yeah. I mean, only because, like, it's easier to just buy a lot of hot dogs and a lot of burgers if you're having, like, a lot of people. But I try to have chicken from time to time, but the thing with chicken, in my opinion, is like the outside cooks quickly, so that gets like a little torched. I feel like people don't know how to season chicken that good, but that's just me. What I like to do is I'll either cook it on a piece of foil first, and then transfer it, or you can bake it. I don't like to bake it because that takes away from the grilling, but that's an option.
I feel you. Yeah.
Or you could just leave it on the top rack the whole time. And I think that's a pretty good cooking technique for the chicken. I know that you be out here with some salmon sometimes, Herschel. Yes. What's up with that?
So, bruh, you already know. Since it is grilling season, I'm about to have the recipes coming with it this year. Last year or the year before, I had some salmon thrown out there. But again, because salmon cooks so quickly, I had to wrap it in foil and like keep it away from the hotter coals and shit. And still, I honestly probably should practice that one a little more. It kind of got overcooked just because I was focusing on the other meat that was on the grill. But I can't give you all the steak secrets. That is my, tried and true, A1. You don't need no steak sauce. You barely really need a knife to cut that shit. Like, it's, of course, medium rare because that's the only way your steak should be. But I got it if y'all need it.
Okay. All right, then.
Yeah, bro, we're going to have to actually plan some shit soon. I've invited some people already tentatively to be like, yo, just look out for the text. Right. The grilling season is coming. I did get a new spot. I haven't been kicked out of the pool area, the grill area yet. So we will be turning up. Most definitely. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, we've had some rough experiences with grilling and cops and other residents. But, we going to get it right one day. Or
we've been kicked out almost every time, haven't we? That's a pretty good track record. Now, see, we weren't kicked out early. It was just, over time, it'd be so many people coming out to eat that delicious food and turn up. Right. And, sometimes also in some of these nicer communities, a lot of black people will scare people. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. Even when we are being civil, sometimes people get a little shook and they'll call down and, just be wet blankets. It is what it is.
Hey, it is what it is. Man.
But if you ain't getting kicked out, low key, you're not having enough fun. So that's my mantra.
But go ahead and hit us up on our social medias. Pretty much all of them are at Real Talk BTH. And let us know, what you like to drink or cook during the summertime, springtime, or whatever. What else you like to do? So
we got Twitter, we got Instagram. Shoot us an email. We take carrier pigeons. Holla.
Hey. Whatever it is, holla.
Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, Turn up. Turn up.